This story takes place 27 years after the First Corporate War. The Nest by Sean Carrière. Chapter 15. On the main floor of the bank, Kyle and Sam were rushing down the stairs when they saw Laura and Bench Press walking in through the twin oak doors. Laura was holding her sawed-off shotgun. Bench Press carried his medical bag, and he had his taser in its custom holster on his right hip. Kyle signaled for Laura and Bench Press to stay where they were, before he and Sam ran back across the room and jumped the long cash counter. They approached the vault, its thick steel door resembling a hatch below decks on a battleship, with its rounded corners and big metal steering wheel sticking out the front. Next to the big wheel was a digital keypad. The vault was shut tight.
"Well, boss,"
Sam began,
"what we got here's a Johnston House model 1996 through 2025. A middle-of-the-road big metal box, but still a tough nut to crack."
"Can you get it open?"
Kyle asked. Sam stepped up to the door of the big metal box and gave it a hearty slap right next to its wheel.
"Too bad I ain't got my diamond drill with me,"
the breacher answered.
"but I got more than enough party favors to blow the door off its hinges."
"Okay, Sam. Let me rephrase.
Kyle began.
Can you open the vault and not kill whoever is inside?"
"No promises,"
Sam began to say, but was interrupted with a high pitch. The big metal wheel sticking out the vault's door began turning on its own. Both Kyle and Sam calmly stepped back as they raised their weapons. The wheel finished turning, and the door slowly began to open outwards. When the door was only open a quarter of the way, it stopped.
"Who's out there? Identify yourselves."
A man's voice shouted from inside the vault. Kyle answered back through his helmet's exterior speakers.
"Stick both your hands out through the door and make sure they're empty. Do it now!"
Two bare hands, attached to bare forearms, slowly reached out from the vault through the narrow opening. Kyle barked more instructions.
"Keep your hands visible and use your body to push the door open. Nice and slow."
As instructed, the vault's door slowly came open. The door of the vault was now fully open, and there stood Danny Blue. The convicted terrorist was keeping his hands up as he pushed the thick metal door open with his shoulder. Danny was only wearing the boots and pants of his radiation suit. The upper part of the suit hung open behind him at the waist with the attached visor helmet dragging on the floor. Kyle was just about to ask his prisoner why he was half naked inside the C-zone when he noticed someone else inside the vault. Behind Danny Blue, the young bounty hunter ordered the terrorist to take 2 steps forward, get on his knees and place his hands above his head. Danny did as he was told, and Sam pounced. The breacher quickly secured Danny's hands with plastic cuffs. Kyle walked around Sam and their prisoner before stepping into the vault. A skinny young woman was sitting at the back of the small metal room. She sat on an open sleeping bag with a second sleeping bag wrapped around herself like a towel. Her back was against the rear wall, and her knees were up against her chest with her bare arms wrapped around them in what seemed a self-comforting hug. The girl was looking in Kyle's direction, but she didn't seem to notice him. Kyle kept his submachine gun pointed at the mystery girl as he visually scanned the inside of the vault. That's when he noticed the girl's radiation suit on the floor next to her. Alongside the girl's suit were some empty ration bar wrappers, a few empty water bottles and an electric lantern flickering away on a nearly dead battery.
"Ma'am, you're going to have to come with us,"
Kyle said to the girl. The girl said nothing. She just continued to stare past / through him.
"Ma'am, get your radiation suit on and come with us."
Still, the girl didn't respond. Kyle kept hold of his GAC with one hand as he used his other hand to adjust the volume on his helmet's exterior speakers.
Ma'am!
Kyle bellowed, this time as loudly as if he'd shouted into a bullhorn. The young bounty hunter was nearly deafened by his own voice echoing within the vault like a thunderclap. Anyone else would have jumped out of their skin, but the girl just blinked and looked at Kyle as if noticing him for the first time. He lowered the volume of his helmet's exterior speakers before repeating his instructions.
Ma'am, get your suit on and come with us.
He paused for a second before adding,
Please.
The girl let the sleeping bag fall from her body as she reached over and grabbed her radiation suit. She was completely naked, but she seemed not to notice or even care. Kyle, on the other hand, felt a little embarrassed. He didn't want to watch this strange young woman getting dressed like some lecherous pervert, but he wasn't going to get shot in the back while looking the other way like a gentleman either. The girl didn't speak a word as she put her radiation suit on. Her movements were very mechanical, like she was operating on automatic pilot. In just over a minute, she had her suit on and was securing the helmet to the shoulder section. The girl then got up, and just as robotically as she had dressed, held both her hands out to Kyle, one wrist resting atop the other in the classic cuff me pose. The young bounty hunter secured the girl's gloved hands in front of her with a pair of plastic cuffs before patting her down. Behind the visor of her radiation suit's helmet, the girl's face remained expressionless, and her stare remained blank. Kyle led the girl out of the vault, and noticed Sam several meters away, patting Danny Blue down. Danny still wasn't wearing anything from the waist up, except for polymer handcuffs. The young bounty hunter waved over to Laura and Bench Press, who were still standing by the twin oak doors at the front of the bank. Kyle then ordered Sam to hurry up and get Danny Blue's radiation suit back on him. Sam pulled his hand out from inside the right sleeve of Danny Blue's radiation suit. The breacher was holding a cleverly hidden 9mm semi-automatic pistol. He grinned like a kid who just found an Easter egg before tucking the handgun into his webbing with one hand, and slapped Danny Blue across the back of his head with the other hand.
Good job, Sam.
Kyle said as he led the girl around the long cash counter.
Now get a suit on him. They're not paying us to bring back an irradiated corpse.
Kyle said as he led the girl around the long cash counter.
You got it, boss.
The breacher then pulled what looked like a folded multi-tool out of the tool pouch on his webbing. A second later, he flicked a switch on the tool and a double-edged carbon fiber blade sprung out. Sam held his utility dagger with his left hand as he grabbed his automatic shotgun with his right hand, keeping the barrel pointed at Danny Blue's back should the wily terrorist try anything foolish. Only then did he cut the plastic cuffs off Danny's wrists and told the prisoner to get his suit on.
Bench Press, come and look at this girl.
Kyle said to the team's medic. Kyle followed as Bench Press led the girl over to one of the wooden chairs along the sidewall, sat her down and asking her some questions.
Ma'am, are you all right?
The big man asked.
Can you hear me?
The girl said nothing. Like before, she just stared blankly. Only now, she was staring at the twin oak doors at the front of the bank. Bench Press reached into his medical bag as Kyle stood nearby.
She's been like this since I found her.
Kyle said.
I think she's in shock.
Just then, Sam walked Danny Blue out from behind the cash counter. The terrorist was now wearing his radiation suit proper, along with a fresh pair of polymer cuffs securing his gloved hands. Danny recognized Kyle as the leader of the group, and shouted to him, desperate to get his attention.
Hey,
The terrorist barked.
whoever you are, you have to get me out of here.
Kyle looked back at their prisoner before calmly answering.
That's the plan.
Forget her. We have to get moving. Get me out of here right now.
Kyle would have thought Danny Blue was anxious to get out of the C-zone and escape the radiation. But then, why wasn't he wearing his radiation suit properly when they found him?
What's your hurry?
Kyle asked.
Anxious to keep your date with the hangman?
This only agitated Danny Blue further, and the terrorist strained his voice as he yelled.
Get me the fuck out of here before they come back, you idiot.
Kyle assumed Danny Blue meant other bounty hunters. But if that was the case, where were these bounty hunters now?
Who's they?
Kyle asked.
Who's coming back? How many of them are there?
The rats.
Danny Blue screamed, straining his voice and fogging up the inside of his helmet's visor.
Thousands of big fucking rats with sharp fucking teeth. Rats.
Kyle couldn't figure what Danny Blue's angle was.
Is he serious?
The young bounty hunter asked himself.
Nah,
Kyle thought.
he couldn't mean rats. No way.
After all, nothing could be alive here. Not for long, anyway. Since entering the C-zone, the team hadn't even seen a cockroach. Kyle was about to tell Danny Blue to cut the bullshit when he heard Slick speaking to him over his suit's radio.
Boss, there's something up on the roof you need to see.
If it ain't one thing, it's another. Such is life. Kyle ordered Sam to keep their prisoner under control as he began walking across the big room toward the stairs.
Wait, where are you going?
Danny Blue shrilled.
You have to get me out of here now. Right the fuck now.
Laura followed Kyle.